Hey V, line them up.
All right, cool.
What's up, y'all? It's the CBR boys back once again. We got Jason Borges coming up from Legless Luxuries. Um, but
Back again.
we'll get through some stuff real quick. Who we got in the building? We got JS Exotics. What's up, James Perry? Uh,
James Perry. Mikey Morris, what up? What up, Chuck? Chris, shout out to Chris, our sponsor. The sponsor. What up, Ro? What up, Salad? Trailer Park, what's going on, y'all? Hey, Ro, I ain't gonna lie, I be forgetting to show y'all shit on Mondays, and I always be like, I'm gonna share this shit. I forget to share it.
who else we
I think my
got?
dad.
We got
I think my
we
dad.
got
Sundays be
Adrian.
so hard.
We got Ro. What up, Ro, man? Shout out to Ro and the shit that he got
Adrian,
going on
what
with
up?
his show, man. Shout out my brother
Yeah.
Ro, man. Congratulations. Who else we got in here? We got Michael Mamedes. I don't know. I'm probably butchering your name, dog. I apologize. Who else we got here?
My meat is.
Yeah. We got Chris from Inbox. Yo, let's show Chris's video, man. I keep telling y'all, man, y'all need to get on Chris' ass and tell him to give us a new commercial.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's Chris from Inbox. Man, it's Christmas time. If you're looking for, to refurbish, to furnish some of your chondro cages for the babies and the adults, hit up
Chris,
Chris and
the Undertaker,
use your
what up?
code. Not the same Undertaker. What a trash is say. Oh, that Chris is here. What up, Chris, man? How you been, brother?
Yeah.
Uh oh man. I was talking about Chris
Sam.
Vitterbox. Yeah, man, he called you Sam Little, the first black serial killer. It's kind of fitting, Keno, right? You don't call every white dude to look a little bit, not uh not looking like Leonardo DiCaprio. You don't call him a serial killer. I wonder what's gonna happen when you see a real nice looking white dude. You gonna be like,
Wow.
yo, he a serial killer? Real suave,
All
real
right,
nice
look.
haircut.
So since that's what Trav calling it on the when Jason pull up tonight, let him know where he said at on the Leonardo DiCaprio scale. Come on, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yo, bro, listen, they don't look like Leo, bro. I'm
That's
not
not
even.
true.
I'm talking
That's not
about
true,
like
bro.
I'm talking about like clean shaven, nice looking Leo. I'm not talking about Leo in the Revenant when he got smacked by that bear.
I'm
You
saying
definitely
so.
you definitely call that Leo a serial killer.
No, I ain't never called our sponsor. I ain't never called him a serial killer.
Yeah, because he doesn't look like that. He's actually really cool. He don't
I ain't called Ryan Burke a serial killer.
You did. It's only because he's too big to be a serial killer, though.
I ain't called
You didn't call Salad a serial killer. Did you call Salad? No, yeah, you didn't
Salad.
call Salad. You didn't call Salad a
No, I
serial
didn't.
killer.
No, I didn't. I ain't called Salad a serial killer. Check the record. And I ain't called Rob. I ain't called Rob a serial killer.
Bro, Rob is never gonna be able to be a serial killer because
I ain't. I'm
he gonna
saying
try to
though.
argue his victims
I
to
just
death,
named
bro.
several white dudes that came on. That's my homies. That I did not call them serial killers though.
Yo, Rob can't be a serial killer, bro. Everybody know that Rob
Pat.
was there
I ain't
arguing
called
and
Pat a
shit.
serial killer.
I mean, he's not a serial killer. He might be a lot of
He
things.
don't
He
look
might
like
be a
he don't
serial
look like
killer.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I mean, Pat. Pat does look like you know, he's really clean cut though.
I ain't called Tuck a serial killer.
I don't know how though. I would say it's Tuck, bro.
Nah, bro. I'm saying, I think you see, I think you trying to put me into this box. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going.
Listen,
You know what I'm
you're
saying?
not gonna call
Sus
Chris
looking white
Rice.
boy,
You're not gonna
white
call
boy,
Chris. He said,
white boy.
hey,
You
Adrian said he
name maybe
called
two
Keno call
white
me a
guys. You
gangster.
didn't kill a call a serial killer. Hey,
Hey, you're not
I
gonna
named
call
first
Chris
off. I just
Rice.
named like 6 the white people that I didn't call a serial killer.
You said maybe 2, bro.
Trailer Park not a serial killer. Noah's Adrian. Adrian, we had him on. He not a serial killer. So that's 8. I can keep going. It's
Okay,
just
if you say so.
it's just we had more serial killers on than not. But it's serial killers that we had on there. I'm not going to identify them as a serial killer. I'm not going to say nothing. Now that y'all saying something, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, if you
Hey,
feel offended
but
by
shout out to
Keno,
all the
Keno call you a serial killer, send him an email at chondrobarroom@gmail.com, and we'll rectify the situation. We'll have Keno send you, I don't know, a fucking I'm sorry card or something. Keno is
shout out
used
to
to
all
being the
the
one
shout out
putting
to
little
all the
women in the
serial
box.
killers. Shout
What's
out to
up,
all the
Deli?
serial killers though out there in the Green Tree Python world.
Okay, anyway. You got
Um,
anything that you want to go over
what up,
before we.
Dalek?
You got any announcements or anything that you want to go over?
I ain't called James Oldall a serial killer.
Yeah, but James Oldall can't be a serial killer, bro. He get too mad about some shit before he even get to doing the killing, bro. He's be, I'm fucking mad. I'm not doing that shit.
You
That's
know what I'm
Oldall,
saying? I
bro.
just said something wrong with him because he poured acid on his hand. I mean, he poured alcohol on his hand. So he poured 91% alcohol on his hand.
I mean, I use some of that 90% alcohol when I try to like stretch my fucking hand sanitizer. I just put rubbing alcohol in it.
Yeah, it looked like it. Nah, I could tell.
It's my
Nah,
hands,
I know
bro.
you. Nah, I know you,
What you think I'm
yeah.
supposed to
Huh?
have? Soft hands like a lady?
What you say? Oh,
Tell Brittany I said what up.
Travis said, what's up, baby? Yeah, your hand's supposed to be nice and supple.
Like a lady's. Jingle it, jingle it. What I tell you about pitching woo on the job, Jangling.
Sorry, Captain.
Sorry, Captain.
Nah,
Hey,
no,
you got anything? You got any announcements?
any announcements? I don't know. I ain't got no announcement, man. Everybody rocking up. Everybody's doing good over here. The beat goes on, Conjure. The beat goes on. It's breeding season, so
Okay,
you know we're gonna let that do what that do.
okay, okay. All right. I don't
Trying to
got
catch
shit
up. I'm
to.
trying to catch up to Cherry Crab. I know Cherry Crab taking his break. You said you taking the season off, right?
I'm taking the season off, bro. I don't want to deal with establishing the baby at all. Fuck that shit right now. Uh, I'm trying to enjoy my leisure time before school starts back in January. So fuck all this fucking baby Neo shit. I hope y'all have fun taking care of them babies. I know the babies look good, bro, but I ain't trying to deal with no babies right now.
No, I feel you. I feel you. Shout out to Tuck, man. Tuck
Shout out to
again.
Tuck.
Plus he just had.
Shout out to
Plus he
Tuck.
just had.
Shout out to Delic for getting her snakes in. I don't know when exactly she got them in. She got them from the U.S. So shout out to
Hey, one
Delic.
time we're gonna have to get Dalek on.
Hey,
Dalek
bro.
next year, probably in 2025, we're gonna have to get you on.
Yeah, we got
Let's
to.
get you on. Yeah, see how that process goes. If you what happened?
I just heard Cash in the background getting in trouble.
You heard that?
Bro, he sounds just like my son, bro. Acting a straight ass, bro. I don't got nothing. I'm just trying to enjoy my leisure time right now. I was supposed to go hunting this morning. I didn't. So I'm taking off Thursday and going hunting.
CJ, what up, CJ?
What
He
up,
said free
CJ?
cash.
He
That's
said
hilarious.
free cash. Yo, Cash be doing the most, bro. You ain't ever gonna call Keto with Cash around and hear Cash doing the right thing.
Man,
You
look,
ain't
bro.
never gonna hear it.
Look, bro. It's always something, bro.
Bro, he just
Hey,
like Silas, bro.
you gotta put him in a cage like a dog, bro. You gotta
Yeah,
lock him in a
bro.
room. During the show, I
Bro,
gotta
it's
lock him in a room. Like he'll run past the show. He be knocking them. Bro, if you ever just see the tripod randomly fall or the light go out, yeah, bro.
hey
That's
man, y'all want to hear a story about the most caring thing in the world? It's not
yeah.
gross.
Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. I'm about to say, because, bro, you be having weird stories sometimes.
Bro, so today we had Santa Claus in the neighborhood. So like they put a guy dressed up as Santa Claus on the back of the fire engine and they drive him around to different neighborhoods.
It's a real dude.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up, Patrick? Yeah, it's a real dude. He's a firefighter dressed up as Santa Claus.
Right, so
So
what y'all weather is? Hold on, what y'all weather is down there?
it's like 50 something.
All right, so it's perfect, brother. All right.
So my sister had lost her phone, so I went outside to go look for it on the ground, and I see a white lady at the house next door going to the fence. Now, that house is owned by my homeboy Charles, who is not a white lady. Uh, so she's like looking at the door, and like I asked her, I was just like, "Do you know who lives in this house?" And she was just like, "Yeah, Charles." And I was just like, okay, like, he hasn't really been here in a while. She was just like, yeah. She was just like, I'm trying to rescue this dog that's been left in the neighborhood, so I'll just put it in his backyard. She literally found a dog and she wants to rescue the dog and put it in somebody else's backyard. So I called Charles. I was just like, bro, is your backyard turning into a dog rescue? He was just like, nah. I was like, well, your neighbor next door, the white lady, said that she is turning your backyard into a rescue sanctuary for this random dog she found. He was like, man, get that dog the fuck up out of my backyard. I was just like, bro, I was like, I never heard no shit like that.
Hey, some tell me she was at Charles' house with some other dog dropping off. I think she was trying to drop off more than some dog, baby.
I called Charles, bro. Charles is at work right now, so he don't know nothing about that. Shout out to
She was trying,
Charles.
she was trying to jump off an animal, but there wasn't no dog.
Shout
Just
out
know
to my
that.
man Charles, who's about to, he's got a lady now. He's about to settle down and get married and shit. Shout out to my man Charles. Uh,
She was
anyway,
trying to jump off an animal, but there wasn't no dog.
I don't know. Was it a monkey? Is that what you about to say?
I ain't said nothing.
All right, yo, we've bullshitted enough. We're gonna bring on our guest, Jason Borges, man. Shout out to my man Jason Borges. So show him some love. What's up, Jason?
Going on, fellas?
Not much,
Jason, what's
man.
going
Chilling.
on?
Nice to actually get to talk to you both in person. I feel like I know you both well, even though I really don't, just because I always watch these podcasts. You feel like you get to know everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty transparent because we really do be full of shit all the time. we be bullshit all the time, man.
No, we try
Listen,
to make it. We try to make it seem like that, though, Jason. Man, that's the whole point of the bar room.
that's not true. We be bullshitting all the fucking time. Listen, you guys get a watered down version of the bullshit too. So
Well, yeah, that's true. We've been consistent with that. They do get the water down version. They don't get the.
every once in a while you get like a real dose. It is problematic. Somebody sent us a message and be like, yo, you should have said that.
Yeah, it's problematic.
Maybe problematic, but hilarious.
What up, Trey? So, Jason, man, we glad to have you here, man. Tell us a little bit about your background, because we want to get into
What's
the
going on?
chondros and all the other species. So, tell us about where you started, where you're from, how was it growing up, and like when you got into reptiles.
Yeah. So, born and raised in Massachusetts. I'd say I probably started like herping when I was like 10, 11 or something like that. I mean, I've always been into animals in general. Like I remember when I was really little, like watching this, you guys probably don't know it, but this old wildlife show called Wild Wild World of Animals. And that's kind of what got me hooked on animals in general. And then from there, I started kind of gravitating towards, you know, reptiles and really getting an interest in, you know, snakes especially, but a little of everything, honestly. And then
I never heard of
never heard of Wild Wild World of Animals.
I remember it vaguely, but it wasn't from the 90s. It was actually from the 80s.
Oh yeah, I mean that show might have started in the 70s.
Yeah, it's from the 70s. I remember
was that a
the show
Saturday
vaguely.
morning show?
No, man.
No,
like it
no.
was on public access TV
Yes,
a
it
lot
was.
of the times.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the evening, like late afternoon or whatever, it would come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it back then. And then when I was 13, I got my first job working part-time at our local mom and pop pet store, which was amazing. And I got 50% discount there on everything. 50% on anything. It was crazy. So I started building up a collection quick, even on, you know, part-time minimum wage, you know. So yeah, I mean, I started out with, you know, a corn snake. I think that was the very first snake that I actually bought. And then this is kind of interesting. The very first captive bred, like a new baby from a breeder that I ever bought was from Kevin McCurley when he was just working and selling and breeding out of his townhouse in the town next door to mine, called Billerica, before he was Nerd and all that. So that was kind of cool. It was a little baby albino California king snake that I got from him back then. And then
Hey, shout out to Colubers though, because my first snake before I had green trees, it was a little snow corn snake.
Oh, okay, cool.
His name was George. I still remember him.
Nice.
I gotta ask you this quick question, man. So, were your parents cool with you just collecting all these animals?
Yeah, super supportive. Yeah. And they weren't like, you know, into that stuff. I didn't have parents that like had reptiles or anything, you know, but they were really supportive and they appreciated them all. You know what I mean? Like, and I think me having them made them appreciate these things more and seeing me take care of them, handle them, show it to them. And then, you know, they'd come in my room and my room was like a zoo at one point. I mean, I had so much stuff in there, all sorts of lizards and snakes. And I had.
Hey, how was you able to keep them? Like, what type
scorpions.
of? How was you able to get the enclosures and everything and keep them in there? Like, how'd they go?
Yeah.
Firing them.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, back then everything was just in glass aquariums.
Right.
You know, like the worst setups you could possibly imagine, with no enrichment, no hides.
Heat bulbs.
I was a kid, like reading those like TFH publication care books, which were so much bad information in those books. And like if you ever, do you know the books I'm talking about? Like the first half of those books would be like specific to the species the book was about. And then the second half of those books was just like this cookie cutter information that they put in that could apply to like anything. But it was all the same no matter what animal it was. It was just the most bizarre thing. Like thinking back, like the information I had to go on, we didn't have internet. You know what I mean? Like
sometimes I be thinking about them animals. They used to sit underneath them heat bulbs and we shouldn't have had them underneath it. And I was just thinking, damn, this is what must be what it felt like when Michael Jackson got burnt in that Pepsi commercial.
Oh my God, heat bulbs! I was
using Jerry curl juice
rocks for everything.
Yeah, that was just as bad.
Dude! Literally everything I had was heat rocks or heat pads for some, but lots of freaking heat
Hey,
rocks.
shout
And
out to
I
the
tell
black
you,
and
I
white
burned
version of
some
Michael
animals.
Jackson.
You know, Jason, man, you know what I think the worst part about every heat rock, like the heat rock, like packaging on it, it's always like a kid standing next to it, like, yeah. And I'm just like, bro,
Oh
it was
yeah.
just kids across America nuking animals on heat rocks.
Shut up.
Yo, turning them into microwaved Eggos, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, that shit was terrible.
Yeah, I feel awful for what I put those animals through back then, but I didn't know any better. You know what I mean?
Nobody
It's like
did.
that's what we had. That's what we were told was fine. That's all you needed, and
That's what the pet
Yeah.
store. That's what the pet stores told you too. They'd be like, "Yo, I got this setup." It'll be like, "Yo, the whole setup's in this one aquarium situation. Just buy the
Right.
animal, buy this
It'd be like
setup, and take it home."
$60.
Yeah.
$60 and everything.
dude, back then when I was a teenager, I had a baby spectacled caiman in a 20-gallon long.
What?
That was like split. That I had like split. I had a divider, so and I had siliconed like a little plexiglass piece in there. So it was like half water, half land. And on the land side, of course, there was a heat rock. And yeah,
Yes,
I had
exactly.
a little baby spectacle caiman in there. That, of course, I mean, it did great. It grew, and then I had to, I had to rehome it. Obviously, like it outgrew that thing so fast. So it was neat to have back then, but I mean, again, just horrible care.
Do y'all remember when the pet stores wouldn't sell you real substrate? They would sell you that fake ass felt shit. Look like the shit on the putting greens.
Yeah.
Like I used to see
Yes.
that shit and be like, bro,
Yeah.
why do you want me to buy this? Like,
I usually see that in people bearded dragon homes.
like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
And
Dragon
that shit had the
homes.
weirdest smell. Like when you would leave it underneath like a heat bulb for a long time, it starts smelling like Armor All. Be like, bro, oh no, I don't think this shit is good for anybody.
No, that's what they used in the cages, in the reptile cages in the pet store, because I had to clean all those cages. And yeah, they had that fake stuff in all of them.
That shit was so terrible.
Yeah.
It was that, and it was like the weird astroturf shit. I'm just like, bro, nothing thinks this shit is grass. Nothing is gonna think this shit is grass. Like maybe Christmas tinsel, maybe.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna think this shit is grass. But yeah, man.
It was just for the benefit of the keepers, not the kept. It was because it was cheap and easy to clean.
Yeah. Who we got
Hey,
here?
but no,
We got-
let's stay right there though. Hey, give us like one of one of the funniest like pet store chronicle stories.
Pet store chronicle stories.
Yeah.
God,
Give me something
Chronicles,
that happens on job.
that was a long time ago, dude.
Well, it don't gotta be funny. It could be something that you saw. You was like, no, I never worked for a pet store again. Give us
Well,
just,
no,
like
I mean,
one good story from that.
I don't know if this qualifies as anything, but just something that just popping into my head that was unexpected that happened was we got a shipment of animals in one week, and in that shipment was a baby ferret, and we weren't allowed to sell ferrets. Like they weren't legal in Massachusetts back then. They are now, but back then they weren't. And they weren't sure what to do with it. Like they got it in. It was like they couldn't really send it back, and they were like, so I ended up buying it. And so that was my first ferret, my first and only ferret that I had. But that was something that happened there that was
Shout out to Jason being a smuggler, baby. Yeah. He said,
they were happy to. They sold it to me at even a bigger discount than the 50% off because they just wanted it gone.
That's usually how it goes, Jason.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, because they would.
You ever free any of the animals? You ever
What's
try
that?
like free any? You ever try to free any of the animals?
Free them?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Free the animals?
Oh, just let them go, man.
Just let them go? No. I never did that.
Look, sometimes I be having dreams of Free Willy, like, man, I'm gonna go save a bunch of animals and free them. But I remember I got a bunch of animals at my house and cages and shit. But yeah, man.
Rescue home like everybody on Instagram.
So we got a comment from Salad. He said, "Do y'all remember putting a sock over your heat rock to
Oh
prevent the
my
animals from
God.
burning themselves out?" No, I see people do that, but I never did that.
I never did it
Nah.
either, but I remember the method.
I remember people doing that. Trey say, I remember those little thin cardboard box
Yeah.
that looks like Happy Meal box they use. The
Yes.
feeders. Oh yeah, I remember shit. And if you
Yes.
don't take that shit home immediately, it's gonna chew out of it.
Bro, I
That
had a live eating snake here, bro. And I had went and bought one of those. And I came home. Now, bro, I put it in a container like this. I swear, bro, and I put it inside the box. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna feed it at nighttime. Bro, I came out here and it was gone. I was gone.
Are you
I'm
saying
looking.
that? Are you saying the feeder did the same thing that you do? Got up out that jam?
Got about that jam, bro. It bounced around. The good thing though is you could tell like it was domesticated because it didn't go far from from like the box. It went like 2 feet, and you saw it moved slow. You know what I'm saying? I was like that old guy I called it before Brittany walked in the middle of the night and saw this brother.
Yeah,
It would have been
she
hell.
was lots of shit. Yeah, man, that was back in the day when Petco used to sell you. They used to sell you the feeders, and they didn't ask you no questions about it. Now they ask you all these questions about it. I think the worst part about Petco, let's say you try to go buy a lizard that you want to feed to a snake, they gonna come out with some paperwork and make you sign that shit and be like, listen, you gotta promise that you won't feed this to another animal and take good care of it. And the whole time I was signing that piece of paper, I was just like, who the fuck's jurisdiction is this in? Like, who's actually
See,
gonna come
I didn't
arrest
have
me if I do this shit?
I didn't have to sign papers when you buy something from there, but like lizards and stuff. But I ain't never had it. Ain't never said nothing about being feeding. So they
Yeah, they
must know
ask you
something
that.
about you, bro.
I mean, yeah, they do. Yeah,
You
man.
go in there looking like the weird dude and feed gerbils and shit to snakes, man. You know you might get a few
I
raised
don't feed
eyebrows.
gerbils. I feed retired
Hamsters.
breeder hamsters. There's a
Yeah.
difference. I don't think gerbils look like they taste good though. So anyway, Jason, let's get some more of your history, man.
More of my history. Yeah. So that was basically, that kind of covers my teenage years, I guess. And then after that, I went on like this crazy long hiatus of not having any reptiles, just for various reasons and circumstances and living situations and whatever. Like after I was like 19, maybe 20, I didn't keep for over 20 years again.
Whoa.
So a lot changed when I got back into it, and it was basically like relearning. Like now I had the access to internet, obviously, and all sorts of care sheets and people and Facebook groups, and which was awesome. So it was just like I was just cramming, and what the impetus for me getting back into it was my sister-in-law got a ball python, and you know, I go over there, and you know, of course I checked it out and was handling it and etc. And I was like, you know, what am I doing? Like, I love this stuff. It's been so long, and now I'm in a position where I can easily keep again. So I started getting back into it. That was only like maybe 8 years ago now. And you know, at that point I'm like, I'm not sure what I want. Like I was just, I became members of like tons of snake Facebook groups, all sorts of different species, and was just kind of trying to figure out where I want to start here. You know,
You was in there arguing with people, wasn't you?
arguing. I was trying to learn. I couldn't. What could I argue about at that point? Like, I didn't even know what was going on. Like, going back to like when I was in high school, we didn't have thermostats. Are you kidding me? Everything was just, we just plugged it into the wall and that was it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I bet you could get a rheostat.
Well, yeah, but I didn't even know that none of that existed back then, or I had access to.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I had a
sold at
homemade
store.
thermostat too, though, because my thermostat was, I used to have a red bulb, right, but it used to sit on the ashtray that I didn't use. So the angle, like the angle would be the thermostat. Like, all right, cool. You know, if I wanted real hot, I'd drop all the way down. But if I wanted a little bit, put it on the ashtray, have it cocked up a little bit. Yeah, you know.
Hey, that works.
Yeah.
It's better than the setup that I had back then.
I ain't gonna lie.
You know.
Hey, you know, we did what we had to do. We got through it, man. You know, shout out to them animals that probably died, you know, terrible deaths due to our negligence.
You couldn't use the purple
ignorance.
one though, because the purple one looked raw, but it didn't get hot enough, and the red one always got hot enough.
Gotcha.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You say what you want, but I raised a few chondros on the light bulbs.
Yeah,
hey,
I
bro.
mean, it can be done. People do it.
I'm not knocking you.
It's got to be done right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once you got into Facebook groups and you started, you know, learning, how did that go?
Yeah, so I mean, it went pretty well, you know. I mean, I'm a pretty quick study when it comes to stuff like that, especially if I have a strong interest in it. So I ended up going to Nerd of all places, and it's not somewhere that like, honestly, like, I'm not a big endorser, but I did go there, you know, again, just trying to figure out where to get what I want. I decided I wanted a Woma python, and they had like I don't want to say adult, but I guess you would say subadult Woma python female there. So I grabbed that, and that was like the first snake I got, getting back into it. And that was cool. The Woma python was crazy. Oh my God, the feeding response on that. They tried to eat itself once. It was crazy. But yeah, so I got that, and then from there I ended up getting a scaleless corn snake. Before I had never seen one before. I didn't even know scaleless snakes existed until I saw that at a reptile show, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it looked so cool, like the colors popped and everything, and I was like, I have to have that. And of course, now I would never buy a scaleless snake now, knowing what I know. And I mean, again, I was just, even 8 years ago, I was clueless, you know?
Are you talking about just like the genetic defects that they have?
Yeah. So yeah, it had no scales. Like, some of them have like some scales on them, but this was like a real clean one. It had nothing except for its belly.
Did your animal used to have a problem shedding?
It did shed a little bit weird. I didn't have any major problems with it. I did have to help it out once, I think. You got to make sure that they're like well humidified when they're in shed, for sure. Because they have trouble getting it off. It just doesn't come off as easy, it seems. It's weird. But anyway, so I got that, and then two more that I got initially, which was, I got my first rhino rat snake, and I got a black milk snake. Both which were really cool. But then, like, you know, it honestly, it didn't take that long for me to start kind of like honing. I wanted to breed black milk snakes, and so I ended up getting a male too. But then eventually, after keeping them for a few years, I realized that that wasn't where my heart lied, because I had got my first chondro at that point. And I started.
What up, Earls? What up, fish? Salad?
Yeah. And so at that point, I just started kind of homing in onto what really, really interested me the most. And man, I love that first Chondro that I got. Oh man, I still love him. He's my favorite.
Chris, what's going on?
That was,
What up, bro?
can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Keep
All
going,
right,
Jason.
yeah. That
He
was
said
the
with the
Chondro that I got from
Hey, you
Clockwork.
sounded you stupid, man.
Keep going, Jason.
Yeah, that's the Chondro I got from
Go
Clockwork,
ahead, Jason.
from Ryan Burke. Import Neo Aru, and that was my, that was my
That's
first
Kaya,
one.
right?
Back then, that was what, $5.25 shipped for, a Bushmaster Aru.
Those were the days, baby.
Yeah.
That's
I
the,
mean,
that's
and that
the,
was
that's the animal you
that
call
was five and
Kaya,
a half
right?
years ago. 5.5 years ago. And that was it, man. That's all it took. I literally got a pair of custom Vans made with the photo that I took the day that he arrived of the snake, because I was that obsessed.
Damn.
Yeah.
Kino had a question. He wanted to know if that was the snake that you had named Kaya.
That is Kaya, yes.
Kaya, bro.
Yeah, that's Kaya.
I remember because we got our snakes around the same time from Ryan.
Oh yeah, so you've been keeping about the same thing of like 5.5 years or so?
No, I've been keeping longer than that. That's when I got serious about breeding. About
Serious
5.5
about
years
breeding.
ago.
Yeah.
Coming back into it.
So after you got your first one and you knew that this is the route that you want to go, how'd you plan on building up your collection? Like, what did you do? And like, what was your plans? What actually all did you want?
So right off the bat, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna breed chondros. It wasn't quite like that. I definitely loved it. I was like, I'm gonna, raise this up for about a year, make sure that I've got it down. I mean, 'cause before that, like I did probably a year's worth of research before I got that chondro. I had joined the chondro groups. I was
Nice.
just absorbing information. I read The More Complete Chondro. I read the Captive Husbandry and Maintenance of Green Tree Pythons. Both of those books, critical. Like anyone getting into chondros, that should be mandatory. You know what I mean? Like that's mandatory reading if you're going to keep chondros. So I blew through both of those books. They were awesome. And, like I said, was on the forums, and I started feeling, like comfortable to get my first, which I did. And I never had any problem with him. I started him off right for sure. Never had any issues eating, never any issues shedding, no issues at all for the first year I had him. And so I think I probably had him about 10 months or so before I started thinking, okay, I think I'm about ready for a number 2. And that's when I got Decimus, who
Yeah.
And again, that went like clockwork, no pun intended, because that's where I got into. But yeah, and I think it was kind of shortly after establishing Decimus that I was like, you know what, this is really it. Like I want to breed these. This is what I really, really want to breed. So yeah, that's kind of when I knew. And I didn't really have, I know you're asking like what my plan was. I didn't really have a much of a plan at that point, just to find stuff that I like and grab it and hope that I end up with a female, because my first 2 were males. So
It seems like that's everybody hope too. End up with a female.
well, yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, the first 2, they were both unsexed, of course, and they both ended up being male. And I'm like, all right. And, then I ended up getting an already sexed male from from Bill, and that's Serendipity. That's the Jaeger biscuit production, and
I got a Jaeger biscuit, baby.
yeah.
No, I got a Jaeger.
So,
No, not a Jaeger biscuit. I got a Jaeger camo, baby. I almost got a Jaeger biscuit, baby. I got a Jaeger camo, baby.
yeah, so I picked that up again. So now 3 males, and
Rest in
then
peace to Jaeger.
I had a couple opportunities to pick up some older females. And I know it's not necessarily how people would advise you to go. But,
Right.
I'm like, look, I got 3 males. My next unsex one's probably going to be a male too. Like, I need, I really would like to have a female, however I can get one right now.
That's how it goes, man. That's
Yeah,
how it goes.
obviously you got to grow them out, and I probably wouldn't have done that had one of the other ones turned out to be female. I wouldn't have felt the need to do that. But again, some opportunities just floated around. Sweetie, which is my older girl that I had picked up, she was like 12 and some change when I got her, and she's about 15 now. I think she just turned 15. And but she's got really, really great lineage, and she did produce a couple of clutches. Only one of them actually went the distance for the prior owner. But she has produced a couple, but not any more than that. So she's not like worn out per se. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't bred hard for years and years and years. So I said,
How was it? That's actually a good point. Good thing that you bring up, because acquiring an older female. How was it acclimate her? Did she take some time settling in with you?
I mean, no different. I haven't had any problems acclimating any of my animals, including her. She acclimated quickly. I didn't have any problems with her eating or doing anything, excuse me, abnormal or whatever. One thing I did do was, I'm like, I'm not getting her and I'm like going to try to breed her immediately. Like, that's not what I was about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I
had her for, 2 years before I tried breeding her. So I let her settle in for a couple of years. And then, I just tried her. She's the one I tried first this past summer into the fall. And, I really wanted to pair her with Hamachi because he's got Vinsky blood too, like her. And I thought they would make a great pair. And, he's quite blue. So that was my goal, but he won't go for me. And he's about 6 years old. And I don't know. They may not be compatible. They just might not like each other for whatever reason, which I know that can happen. Sometimes you just get a pair that won't go, but they might go with someone else,
Yeah.
Did you try them at different times of the year?
No. So
that
the
might
breeder,
be it too.
well, maybe. Well, I'll tell you what happened. So I originally had paired them in the spring because the original owner told me that she tended to ovulate basically in the April time frame, like anywhere from the end of March to early May, like is when he was getting ovulations from her, like when he would breed her and then get an ovulation. So I was like, all right, well, that's something for me to go on, So I tried during, that early spring time frame, putting them together and stuff. And he showed no interest at all in actually trying to breed with her. I mean, she'd just sit there and he would just roam, So I tried that for a couple of months off and on, kept putting them back together, and I was feeding her a little more frequently with small meals during that period, which was what I was recommended to do. And nothing was happening. And I was like, am I missing my window right now just because he's not interested, but maybe somebody else would? Like, she might be ready and he's just not, or he is not interested in her, or vice versa. So I decided I'm just going to throw Kaya in just out of curiosity, because he's about the same age as Hamachi. I mean, you know, he's close to 6 years old at this point. I threw him in there, and within an hour, he was locked with her.
He knew what to do. He knew what to do.
He knew what to do, and I had a feeling that was going to be the case. I don't know why, but I was like, why do I think that he is going to be an awesome breeder? You know what I mean? And sure enough, bing, bang, boom. And then the process started from there. You know, they locked up repeatedly over the course of like 5 days before they finally like kind of separated. And then, you know, I took him out, I fed her, I put him back in, and, you know, did that a little bit here and there. And then it honestly wasn't that long. I forget. I'd have to look it up on my phone. I have everything documented, but it wasn't that long until she just stopped feeding. And I said, are you kidding me? Really? But yeah, she went off food, and he was showing zero interest in her at that point, like none. They were just separated the whole time. At night, he didn't go over to her, nothing. So yeah, and then she just went through all the motions. Like, I had a few like semi-swelling events, but nothing that you would say was a definitive ovulation. You know, it was just kind of guessing games. It was like, okay, follicle development, like what's going on here? And you know, she'd get super crazy active, and then I'd see some swelling, and I'm like, all right, here comes the big ovulation. But it would never end up being like really big, you know, to where it just left you with questions, you know. But you know, she eventually, like in the right sort of span of time, she then had a shed, which would have fallen within that time frame of when she would have her prelay shed after the last time she had swelled up kind of the biggest, but still not gigantic, you know? So I was like, all right, well, you know, maybe she just had a smaller ovulation or whatever, but this is her prelay shed. And so, okay, now we start the clock on when we are expecting eggs. And, you know, I threw an lay box in there. She was exploring it. She went in there a couple times and overnight. And then time just kept on ticking, and we're like day, 25 after the prelay shed. And, you know, I was talking to Patrick and stuff. And I think eventually I was like at day 28, and I'm like, dude, what's going on? You know, and he's like, take her out and palpate her. See if you can feel any eggs in her or anything at all. And I was like, all right. So, I mean, it's not the first time I've palpated a snake. So I did that. And sure enough, there was nothing in there. Nada. And I think within a week after that, I said, let me offer her food, and she ate. And I'm like, there it is. It was a total false pregnancy. And, you know, I posted about it in the groups, and other people chimed in and said, oh man, same exact thing happened to me. Like this, all the same events, same time frames. You know what I mean? Like they're like, same thing happened to me. And one person said that theirs even did the full beehive and was acting like they had laid a clutch of eggs, and there was nothing. There were no eggs, and they were just beehived and acting like they were incubating eggs.
It's like them girls that say they get. It's like them girls that get on social media and be like, "I'm pregnant by an NBA player," and then that baby don't ever come. They just ruin this dude's life for nothing.
What is the animal's lineage that did that?
Sweetie?
Yes.
So her sire and dam are both Vinsky animals.
Okay.
even think they had name. Like, she doesn't have a whole lineage
So,
chart. Nobody has done a lineage chart like for her. So I just got some like rudimentary photos sent to me with like little descriptors on them. It says, you know, like Vinsky, but I don't even think there was an actual like ID number or anything, but they were both Vinsky. And then down the line, there are a couple of big names in her lineage, specifically Joan Collins, right? Joan Collins and Pygar.
Pygar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I mean, other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot that I have to go on her, like a deep lineage. Now, Patrick Holmes,
but that's enough though. I mean,
yeah.
Joan Collins, you know, you got the Chuba Walsh stuff in there.
Patrick, I believe, has a sibling to her. He either does or did. He can chime in if he's here.
He's there.
He knows
taking over the chat.
I think he knows like the deeper lineage with her. And at one point, he had said he might try to put together a lineage chart, but you know, it's a pain in the butt, and he's busy. You know,
man, you know, he makes time for stuff like that. Pat is the Chondro historian.
Yeah.
He's probably, you know, one of the most well-versed Chondro historians I've talked to. The other guys are much older than Pat. And Pat's kind of old. He just look real young. He does a lot of kettlebell swings and posing in the heat and saunas. So, you know, he looks real young. But yeah,
don't forget the half naked part.
Yeah.
I was gonna say shirtless. Yeah.
I don't think this. Listen, I've seen some of Pat's pictures. I'm just like, dog. I'm sure I think he just taking one of those D'Angelo pictures, bro. But I don't think he got pants on, dog.
That's what he is. He the white D'Angelo.
Yeah, yo, Pat is a white D'Angelo.
Exactly.
In somebody's garage singing "How Does It Feel" with no pants on, swinging a kettlebell.
In front of a black Jeep.
How does it feel? He's I have a shirt and a hoodie on right now, man.
That's rare.
You know, we gonna take your word for it, but like that might not be true. Might not be true. But Jason, man, I gotta ask you this question, man. I'm really interested to hear about how you've never had. He said no pants on. Yo, why are you like this, Pat?
He walking around with a hoodie and his shirt, with no pants.
You never had an issue acclimating an animal. I want to hear about your intake process, man. How do you, when you get an animal in, what do you do?
So I have a room that I use specifically for quarantine, which is up on the top floor of my house. So in my office, basically my home office is what I use for quarantine. And yeah, so, you know, for a younger chondro, I have a Cambro tub set up that I use that has a real small heat panel attached to the top of the lid, with a little kind of like a ladder kind of perch that's leaning up against. You know what I'm talking about, I think.
Yeah.
It's
every time I see those perches, I'm just like, where do y'all get them from?
Yeah. It's leaning. So I you know, for a young one, I set them up in that, and then I have like a larger tub for if I, you know, take in an adult, like I did with Sweetie, and some, you know, the import that I just got in, that Aru import. Yeah, and you know, they're up there for, you know, 3 or 4 months anyway, before I think about bringing them down into the main room. And you know, everyone's tested for Nido, and I do the Boyd panel. So it's like, you know, $60 and it tests for Nido, arenavirus, and what the heck is the other one? I don't know. It tests for 3. I just
Cryptosporidium.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't think that one tests for crypto. Crypto, I think, is a separate test on that one.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think it was
regardless, it tests for 3 things. I just can't remember. But anyway, so yeah, so I do that. I get a fecal done, and take it from there. I mean, if everything comes back clean, like right off the bat and stuff, then it's probably like closer to 3 months that they're up there. But like if a fecal comes back with some parasites and I got to do treatment, then you're looking at least 4 months to make sure that the fecal is clean after the fact. Yes, thank you. Paramixo, that's the one that I was trying to think of.
Thank you, Pat, for always knowing for us.
Yes, sir.
Pirate.
But yeah, I mean that's and again, and I've never had any problems using those setups up in that room to get everybody eating and going. Most of the time, I will offer food the same night they arrive and they eat. I might wait a day or 2 or whatever, especially if they had just fairly recently eaten and they're not scheduled to eat yet. I might wait, but I try to get them eating as quickly as possible. So yeah, so that's my intake process for new animals for the most part.
Do you keep them with paper towels?
How many?
Huh?
Do you keep them with paper towels?
Yeah, in quarantine, they're on paper towels. Yeah, and for anything that's a neo or juvie, they're on paper towels as well. They don't get upgraded to puppy pads until they're in their adult enclosures.
How many tests you said they had to pass in your quarantine?
How many tests?
Yeah.
Yeah. So generally 3. I think I probably did 2 on somebody at one point, and I was comfortable with it just based on the circumstances. If it was something captive bred from someone reputable and
right.
who tests their collection for NIDO and stuff, and I might do one when it comes in and one when it's heading about to head into the main room. I'll do another one, but yeah, I'm not like hardcore. It has to be 3. It depends on the circumstance, but regardless, everybody is tested, no matter what. Yeah.
Okay.
And I honestly, I fast forwarded to the whole chondro thing and like totally skipped over the fact that, before I even tried breeding chondros, I did pick up Western hognose, and I did produce my first clutch of snakes with them a couple of years ago. So there was some experience kind of with the breeding process and with hatching eggs and raising up babies and all of that, which was a blast. I'll never forget that, seeing those things pipping.
So how was establishing?
Hey, shout out to the magic balloons.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
What the hell?
I didn't do it. I don't know.
What do you mean magic balloon?
Hey, it was a magic balloon floating on Jason's screen.
Yeah, I don't know why. But I said I was happy about that when I was like, did the word happy trigger balloons? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Shit, it's China, bro. They didn't got us. They trying to kill us with kindness.
58 minute mark. All right. Hey, if y'all saw that, make a comment make a comment if y'all saw that. I know that wasn't only me, man, because I haven't been doing no mushrooms. I don't do that stuff.
You said you haven't done it, or you haven't done it lately?
No, I haven't. I don't do that stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just looking at you. Can you take your sunglasses off and say that again?
Why you say that?
You want to see his pupils?
Yeah.
They not dilated, brother.
No, I'm just looking for the truth.
I
Don't
mean,
don't
the
don't be telling
glasses,
lies to
the,
the old man's eyes,
the
Keno.
shade, hey, the shades ain't. I don't think the shades ever came off on the show.
Bro, okay, we'll talk about this later.
I think the
Uh,
shades only came off that one time when the scientists got me upset. You know.
Jason,
Hey,
hey man, what do you,
but no, though, hey, bro,
Jason?
hold on, real quick. Talk to us about the breeding process with the hog noses. How did that go?
Honestly, it went really well the first time for sure. I mean, it wasn't perfect. So, but I'll tell you, they're much more cut and dry to breed than chondros, and that's kind of why I went that route, just to try and get my feet wet with breeding something. And I know there are some people that feel like if you're looking to breed chondros, don't breed anything before that, because then you're gonna think that it's that easy and you're gonna use the same parameters and kill all your eggs. And I mean, I'm not an idiot, you know what I mean? Like, I
That's not how
realize
it
that they're
works.
different species and they have different requirements,
Right.
But
You ain't tough.
anyway, I just
That's
wanted to
not
get
how
my
it works.
yeah, I just wanted to get my feet wet, you know what I mean? And with
Right.
something that was a little more cut and dry, build my confidence a little bit maybe. So yeah, I mean, you got to brumate them in the winter for a couple months, 3 months maybe. I would get them down to like 55 degrees for a few months. I would just, take them out of their enclosures, put them in a smaller bin with a little bit of water in there and a hide and thick substrate. And that was it for a few months. And then, slowly bring them out of brumation over the span of a couple weeks, warm them up and then offer them some food. And, basically then you can start pairing them up at that point. So that's what I did. I paired them up and, of course it was the first time for both of them. I had raised them both up from babies. And, they locked up pretty quickly. And, I think they were locked for 6 or 7 hours. And that's it. That's all it takes. It's a little different than what you do with chondros. You know what I mean? Like where you just keep them together until she's off food. You know what I mean? And just let them
Yeah.
lock up as many times as they will. You don't need
Right.
to do that with hognose. It's basically when they lock, they're good. You know what I mean? If you see them locked, it's obvious and they're good. So yeah, and then she went off food after a while, like you would expect, and she gave me she ended up giving me a clutch of 10, but she had 10 more in her that she decided to hold back. All would have been fertile eggs, beautiful eggs that she just didn't want to lay. I ended up taking her to the vet. They took an x-ray. They're like, yeah, there's 10 in there. And so they just gave me some tips. They said, give her a soak, like a 30-minute soak every day, and see if she gets them out on her own. And sure enough, like I did that, and after a couple days, she'd like release a couple, and then a day after that, she'd release a couple more, and eventually she got all 10 out. But of course, at that point, they were all dead. They were all beautiful pearly white eggs. So that was kind of that was a bummer, but she gave me 10 eggs. 7 of them went the distance, and I couldn't have been more thrilled, honestly. And it was a pretty good experience raising up the babies. They they mostly didn't give me too much of a hard time. I did have a couple that challenged me a little bit, but I got them figured out, through different methods, different scenting methods, trying live and the whole thing. And, like I said, I got them figured out. I got them all eating consistently. So I didn't have any casualties of the 7 that hatched. And I got some really cool morph combos out of that clutch too. I hit on a couple of nice ones, which was nice from a small clutch like that. And then yeah, I kept a pair. I kept, my two favorites. Actually, the two that I kept were the first two that pipped. And then I sold the rest, and I had no problem selling them on Morph Market. Each one was gone within 2 weeks of being put on there.
Did you have people get on your nerves asking you a bunch of questions that you didn't feel like answering?
No, I lucked out, man. I lucked
Damn,
out.
is it just me? Do people want to get on my damn nerves?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel for you. Look, it was 7 snakes. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, as I produce more, knock on wood, it's gonna happen. I'll run into the same issue, but no, it was a good
Shout out to the
experience.
people that do get on Travis' nerves though.
Yo, fuck you, Keto. You get on my nerves, so shout out to you, motherfucker.
Shout out to myself.
Jason, I gotta ask you this question, man. What's your profession? Are you a scientist by chance?
I'm not a scientist.
Okay.
I'm an analyst by trade. I work for the Federal Aviation Administration. Specifically, I'm a fund certification officer. So I work closely with our engineers, all the construction engineers, design engineers, electrical engineers that build all of our airports on the East Coast.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So, they kind of, I deal with the money. So they got to kind of go through me at one point to make all their purchases and that they need for construction and all that jazz. So I'm certifying the availability of funds and that all the coding is correct and that, all the laws and regulations are being followed, et cetera. I know it sounds like a lot of fun, right? But as someone with an analytical mind, I'm very suited to that. So as an analyst, it's kind of right up my alley. And honestly, those same skills really help a lot when it comes to raising and looking to breed chondros. So
that's cool. I work with data. I'm a digital analyst for digital data, and I don't think I did it again. I don't think I have an analytical mind at all. I don't know how to do my job because I do some dumb shit all the time. So you're probably a better analyst than I am, Jason. But I do see the balloons.
I'm sure you're fine at what you do.
Travis don't like to give himself credit. That's all.
I mean, they pay me, but
So see, you're doing something right.
I mean, I say things I shouldn't say on here all the time. So
yeah.
but when your bread is butter though, you ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? With that check.
I guess so. I guess so. Jason,
I've been with that agency for actually this July was 25 years that I've been with the FAA.
That's what's up, man. I got a cousin. He's an air traffic controller. He be fucking up all the time too.
Like I just fucked up my name.
So I ask you this question, man. Let's talk about the other species because you have more than that, man. You got a wide array of species that you're keeping right now, man.
Okay, so I did. So I still have my rhino rat snake.
Which I see that thing all the time. I like it.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's everybody's favorite. He's so personable. He's the one that like I'm eating breakfast on the weekend. Like if you ever, especially in the past, have watched any of my stories on the weekend, you'll see I just open up the cage and while I'm eating breakfast at the table, he just makes his way out of the cage on his own, comes across the chairs, comes across me, and just freaking hangs out. He rarely ever gets himself into any trouble.
That's the green one, right?
That's the green one. Yeah. He just hangs out. He's super cool. Super cool.
Jason, if you leave your door open and you set a piece of cheese out in the open, Kino will probably show up.
I'm gonna try that.
Don't try that, Jason. Nobody wants a Kino popping up at their house.
Listen, if you had if you had a pile of cheese that you just left out in the open with your door open, and you played on your phone midgets twerking videos next to the cheese, he's gonna show up even faster, man.
Well, it can't be any
I was
cheese
waiting
now.
for the first little person reference.
It can't be. It can't be. It can't be any cheese. It got to be like expensive cheese.
What
Yeah,
kind of cheese you like?
he does like
Let's be
expensive
clear.
cheese.
Huh?
No, I'm just saying. Let's be clear. It gotta be. It gotta be. I have some type of morals, brother.
What type of
kind
cheese?
of cheese do you like?
Let me see.
Vele de Vita.
I get a good smoked Gouda cheese.
Ah, a true
I like blue
connoisseur.
cheese crumbles on the salad, but I'm not like a blue cheese like eat with crackers type of guy.
Do you like
What
blue cheese
Um,
on your steak?
Yes, blue
I
cheese
like
on
blue
the steak
cheese on
is
the steak.
fire. Fire.
That is good.
I like wine cheese. This is
Port
cheese
wine
called
cheese.
blue. This is cheese. No, this is cheese called Blue Moon cheese. It's like in cheese and it's soaked in grapes.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
in a ball.
no, this one on the ball. This one in the square.
Mm.
What about brie? Are you into brie?
He like
Somebody
he
told
like
me I
the
should put some. I should put some brie like in the oven
yeah.
and
You gotta
smoke
get it
it.
hot. You gotta get it
Yeah,
hot and gooey.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. I don't like brie yet. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't like brie. I haven't tried it yet, so that's on the list though.
Jason, what type of cheeses you like, man?
Man, all of the above. I love cheese. I never eat it anymore because I altered my diet drastically. But I do. I love. I mean,
Wait,
brie
did you cut
cheese.
out dairy?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And basically in meats. I mean, I basically eat vegetables and fish and carbs. Rice, bread, whatever.
Jason gonna survive the zombie apocalypse. That's what I do. Hey, Jason, you put up the 28 days later trailer, man, and I saw that shit earlier today, and I was just like, man, I fucking love that movie series. So I gotta say that to you because
Oh,
I want to see it real bad. I was like, can y'all put it out today? I'll give y'all $100 if y'all let me watch it today.
oh man, I can't wait. Got to wait till next year, unfortunately. But that's not that far away, so I'll take it. We've been waiting so long, but yeah, I mean, the original 28 Days Later is the best zombie movie ever made. It was the first zombie movie that genuinely made zombies scary.
I
In
don't
my
know.
opinion.
I saw Return of the Living Dead when I was like 9. The one with the dude from Candyman. Candyman was in it, and that one kind of fucked me up a little bit. But 28 days later, man, I remember I had that on.
You on the black and white one?
Nah, the remake of it. They remade it in like 88,
Bro, I
89
saw
or
like
some
the
shit.
original black and white one for the first time. Man.
It's
I wasn't scared of zombies though.
it's the same one, but it's got Tony Todd in it, the dude that played Candyman. He karate kicked the zombie, bro. You gotta see that shit where this man
Okay.
Candyman karate kicks the zombie. But 28,
Candyman's another classic.
I love
Yeah.
Candyman. I had a girl come over. This is when I was in ninth grade, and we watched 28 Days Later. And this is the first time watching it, bro. I tried so hard to act tough, bro, but I was scared to the motherfucking man. That movie scared the shit out of me, bro. She looking at me, and she's just like, "Oh, it's gotta get close." I'm just like, "Bitch, I might have to run. This shit is scaring the fuck out of me."
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it holds up well now too.
it
You know what I
does.
mean? Like it's real good
Just
still.
scary ass.
Yeah. Did you see
Listen,
the
man.
Candyman remake?
Oh, the Candyman remake. I like the Candyman remake. I didn't like how they tried to make him seem like he was just some bum ass houseboy for it. No, I didn't like that part.
I saw the remake. The remake was cool. It
It was
was.
alright.
Of course, it wasn't good as the classic. So
No, not as good as the original. Yeah.
If you, I don't know if you a horror movie fan,
Big
but
time. It's my favorite genre.
it's my favorite genre too. In fact,
me
my
too.
wife does not. She does
Me
not
too.
like it when I talk about horror movies. But they made a video game for the Thing, um, and they just put the remastered version out over the weekend.
Ah,
So I started playing it, and it's still confusing as it was in 2003. It's still fucking confusing.
Hey,
But man, the thing is, that's one of my favorite horror movies of all
where do
time,
y'all
man.
rank? Where do you rank the horror movie? Damn, I can't think of the fucking name of it. What's the one with the It just came out a few years ago, and they not a few years ago. What's the one
what?
where literally you find the film? It's like the film on there, and for the family of four getting hung.
Oh, Sinister.
Sinister.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey,
Sinister was good, man.
hey, that's probably
Yes.
one of my all-time favorite movies right there on the horror side.
Yeah. Sinister's
Sinister was
another
good.
good one.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah,
It's a great movie.
1990. Tom Savini. Hey, man, if you don't know who Tom Savini is, Tom Savini, he did a whole bunch of the monster stuff and a bunch of the old movies, but he was also in From Dusk Till Dawn, and
Ah, another
that's
classic.
that's one of my favorite movies,
The movie's so
especially
funny.
especially when homeboy was drinking that tequila off Selma Hayek's foot. And I was like, man, that's a great scene in a horror movie.
I used to have a big crush on Salma Hayek.
Hey, bro, people they had crushes, bro.
You look like a dude that got it from foot fetish.
No, you look like a dude. Yeah, you look like homeboy from Don't Be a Menace that was
you
putting on
you look
the
like a
hot
dude
sauce
with a
on the
big
girl feet.
a big brother with a foot fetish. I can see
Nah,
that.
bro, I can't do feet, bro. Listen, I
I
got a
can
thing
see that.
about feet, bro. I always had this thing about feet where I didn't like feet because I was at my homeboy house and he brought this girl over, and you know how girls be wearing flats with no fucking with no socks, bro. She took the flats off, the whole house smelled like stank ass feet, bro. So I was just, I never been a fan of feet. I'm always cautious about
You was
feet.
going.
I wasn't. I wasn't.
You was going.
Bro, you ever stand next to somebody and be like, "You stink"?
Yeah.
I was like, bro,
Couple my players on the football team this year.
bro. I was just like, this girl feet smell like probably Edrin James feet. She got running back feet. She's just been driving through dirt and grass and cleats feet. Uh, but yeah, man.
Hey, shout out to
Check
people
out.
with cleat feet, man. I got athlete's foot. I ain't even gonna lie.
You gotta soak them, bro. Put them in the apple cider vinegar. You
I
know.
always do. I didn't have that since I was in high school though,
Yeah. I think it just happens to you after you play sports for a long time. But
bro. Yeah.
anyway, we're gonna get off of the cheese and the horror movie topic. But what other species are you currently keeping, Jason?
So, honestly, right now it's just the chondros, the rhino rat snake, and the 4 western hognose. Just not that long
Like three
ago,
dogs.
like a couple of months ago,
They used to have an
I
upper lip when
I
he
rehomed my
kissing feet.
false water cobra and my rufous beaked snake. Those were the other 2 really, really cool colubrids that I think false water cobra isn't even technically a colubrid. Is that the snake that I'm thinking of?
What is it then?
Anyway,
This rear fang venomous, right?
yeah, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. But anyway, yeah. So both of those species are rear fang venomous, and again, it was one of those things where I was really weighing the pros and cons of keeping them or rehoming them, and the cons way outweighed the pros for me, especially considering the amount of space that the false water cobra was taking out, because that was in a large enclosure. And as I, geared up myself up more for obtaining more chondros, and it is a colubrid for sure. Okay, all right. I'm not sure there was some snake that I was
Delica's
reading
a
about
genius, bro.
recently that
She is though.
everyone commonly referred to as a colubrid, and it looks like a snake you would think was a colubrid, but technically it wasn't a colubrid. For some reason, I was thinking that was the false water cobra, but may have been something else. So anyway, yeah, so I ended up parting ways with them because I just realized that in order for me to accomplish what I want to accomplish with chondros, assuming that the chondro gods smile upon me, I needed more space because I don't have a lot of space. And so, the space that I do have, I really can't allocate it to other species with what I want to do. And I'd be perfectly content with just all chondros. You know what I mean? I love them that much. So
I gotta ask you this question, Jason. How's it feel like not having to work your collection around not having kids, man?
it's great, right? It's great. I mean, yeah, I'm not somebody that was ever cut out for having kids, man. I love my nieces and nephews, and I love seeing them and spending time with them. But then it's so great to just be able to then leave. You know what I mean? I'm not someone that was ever.
I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I wish I could do that too, but then they got a label for people like me that look like me that do that.
Yeah. I'm someone who values his solitude way too much to have children.
Yeah, you know what, man? The craziest thing about kids, man, the minute you think that they don't want to be around or they playing with something, they just show up and just start fucking up shit, man. They just
start punching on
show
you,
up,
start
bro.
wasting stuff, losing stuff.
I've seen it during your podcast.
Who, my son?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
Just pop in, start ripping your glasses off your face, give you a smack, and then leave.
Yeah. Well, nigga goes, hey, where he been at?
He sleep, bro. Listen, Silas, I didn't tell anybody this, but Silas started going to school a couple weeks ago. So Silas,
Silas man. It's gonna be your favorite soccer player, bro.
So Silas he's on a schedule, man, and I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like him being on his school schedule is pretty good because his mayhem has been limited to a certain amount of time in the day. But I will say this about Silas. Silas may be a little terrorist at all times of the day, except when he's ready to go to sleep. And you don't have to tell that man to go to sleep at all. You just watch him, and he'll put his clothes on, he'll say something crazy to you, he'll walk off, crawl into bed, and go to sleep, bro. I don't know. My daughter's not like that at all. My daughter, she wants to have a conversation with you. There's some shit that she wants to negotiate with you earlier in the day. She wants to get that on the docket so she could talk to you about it tomorrow. You didn't take her out to ride her bike, so she gonna remind you that you didn't take her out to ride her bike, and she's gonna ask you for things, and then she might go to sleep. She might watch TV for a while. But my son, he's like a dog. He just goes, finds where he's gonna go to sleep, and just goes to sleep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but he's fucking off for most of the time. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I made an exact copy of myself. He's just beige.
He trying to slap any women yet?
Oh, bro, did I tell you when we went to go get Korean barbecue? And I'm walking in, and I got Silas by one hand, and Silas reaches his hand up and rubs some lady's booty. He didn't just hit it, he rubbed it. And I'm just, come on, dog. You can't be doing shit like that. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to teach him consent.
Listen, man, I don't think the Silas even know what he be doing half the time, man. I be trying to keep him in the house, man, and teach him real life lessons, make him watch, Fat Albert a few times. But he don't give a shit, bro.
Okay. All right. Raising a young predator over there.
He's 4, bro. He's not even 4 yet, bro. He's 4.
Young
But yeah,
Predators,
man,
the Young Predator Club. You know what I'm saying?
he's something else. He's a young little terror. But yeah, it must be good like not having to like work your schedule and your house around kids, man. And your collection because it's stuff that I would have if I didn't have kids, man.
Yeah, like what?
But, a retic. I'd have a retic for sure. Um, I'd
I ain't
probably
fucking
have
around.
I'd have a few big ass monitors. Yeah, but
I be
my
doing
son.
weed.
Okay, that's unnecessary. That's what we're talking about.
That's
Yes.
unnecessary, bro. That's a legal right. Yeah.
Oh, where you live? Yeah, in Texas is not legal. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, man, it sounds like a wonderful life. Uh,
And
but yeah, man,
I have me a black monitor too.
I thought you were gonna say something else. Okay, but yeah.
Have me a black monitor for real. Yo, you already know I want a monitor, bro.
Well, you said black, and then I was just like, it could be, it could be a lot of things. And then when you said monitor, I was like, okay, that's okay, good.
Or Black Panther. I'll get the Black Panther too.
I wasn't thinking that either. Anyway, Jason, man. So I gotta figure out this situation with you, man. So going forward, and you have a mixed collection. You didn't start off with a plan. What is your plan from this point on with the Chondros?
Okay. Again, it's not much of a plan. I know, some people got like real regimented plans that they've thought out thoroughly.
Keno does.
Yeah.
Keno is a planner guy. He's pretty good at it too, man.
I think eventually I will get to that point. But because I'm only working with 2 females right now, and one of them is getting up there in age, and I don't know if I'll ever get a clutch from her. And then, the other one is Wanda, who is, as you guys both probably know, has been paired up with Decimus. And they've been locking.
One is John Irby animal, right?
Yeah. One is the John Irby animal. And again, I would have liked to have actually paired either Hamachi or even Serendipity with her, like ideally. But Serendipity, I did try once, and he was like terrified.
He's still a little young, right? What is he, like 3?
Night in her cage, he's like, I don't want any part of this.
Get me out of here.
Yeah,
get me out of here.
He wanted out. He's not ready, but I mean, he's about 3 years old, so he's still fairly young. But Decimus is around the same age, so he's fairly young, but he's doing a good job for a 3-year-old. Yeah, and like Decimus does have that kink towards the end of his tail that he developed. Like he wasn't born with it. It wasn't there when I got him. I'm assuming that that ended up developing because of a perch size issue when I moved him into his adult enclosure, because I tend to do that when they're pretty damn small. I definitely move them into their adult enclosures when they're smaller than most people would do. But why?
Yeah.
I just like to give them the space. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. You know what I mean? It's like if I feel like they're well established, and I can move them into a larger enclosure, why not? And I give them thin perch options too. And I did the same thing with Serendipity, for example. And Serendipity used those thin perch options all the time. And he has no problems, no kinks, nothing. But Decimus, for whatever reason, would always opt for the thicker perches, even though he was still quite small, even though he had tons of options in there for thinner stuff. And people say that can cause it. I mean, I don't know if, again, that's kind of an anecdotal thing.
That's what I'm saying. He's like them BBWs.
Or not. I don't know. I don't know. But
I like my
anyway,
ladies
so
juicy.
that's, that happened regardless of how. And it's, it's kind of right down by his cloaca. So, I did have some questions kind of, is that something that's going to affect his breeding ability or not? And so, I would love to get a clutch from him as a sire, just to, to know that, yeah, he's a viable breeder regardless. I mean, because it hasn't caused any issues. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's noticeable and, whatever. So we'll see. Like I said, I mean, obviously you've seen the stuff he's been locking up seemingly with no problems. We'll see if it's actually working and taking and whatever, I guess, down the road. But figured I'd give him a shot anyway.
Yeah, I think
I can
that
see.
when it
I can see the what's the name though. I can see like the cloacal. What the hell is it called? What's the thing?
Oh,
The brain cramp.
the hemipenes.
the kinking,
No,
the
the
kink.
kinks. So the
Yeah,
cloacal kinks. I can see that affecting the female chondros more than the males. Honestly,
yeah,
not
yeah,
just thinking about it and going through it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've seen I've seen so many animals that like they look like there may be something off with them, but they breathe. So I don't
Yeah.
think a kink is probably stopping a lot of animals. There's a lot of animals that are breeding. That you be like, oh, that animal's kind of weird.
Some people, some animals like kinky stuff, brother.
Kinky
And if
reggae.
if
Some
he had
people
been,
like it kinky.
if he, if I had bought him and he was like that, if it was a genetic thing, I mean, I would never have even attempted to breed him.
Yeah, but you realize that, probably happened to your care and probably from him lunging or something. You never know.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I think he was
Yeah.
probably around a year old when it like just first started presenting itself. Maybe even a little older than that. I'd have to go back and look at pictures, but yeah, it was. I was surprised when I first noticed it. That's for sure.
Plus, there's a lot of animal like chondros that lose their lures and they're fine. So,
Oh, right.
so it's just like, man, maybe some of this stuff isn't as impactful. I'm pretty sure that there's all types of gimpy animals, making
Yeah.
babies. This is gimpy humans making babies and shit all the time.
Yeah.
It's probably not a good thing to say. Anyway, but yeah, I think that it's probably generally gonna be okay, man. But
Yeah, but so you were asking about like my overall plans.
yeah,
Like as far as like what I'm realizing that I like working with a lot. Of course, like I'm trying to like collect arus now. I really want to produce some pure arus. That's important to me for sure. They're my favorite locality, hands down. And a big part of that is because like, I love white and I love blue, and you get a lot of both of those with the arus. And so, a high white aru with lots of blue is ultimate for me. And, even when thinking about like future.
That's like my boy Tuck too. Tuck favorite. That's Tuck favorite locality.
Yeah. And even like, thinking about like the designer stuff I want to work with going forward, what really I love, again, I love high white and I love blue animals, so to me, something that you don't really see is an animal that is blue that also has high white, and the closest thing I've really seen to that, which it's only that way because it's hormonal, is that crazy Biak that Patrick has. I forget the name of it, but he has that, that hormonal blue and white Biak that is just insane. Like that is just dreamy to me. So I would love to, produce something that was blue with a ton of white, like that. That would be like kind of the ultimate thing. So, and then taking that a step further, which would be really difficult, and I'm sure because I'm getting into this fairly late in life compared to some people. Like I'm not in my 20s or 30s. I would love to be able to produce something like that is blue with high white from a yellow Neo. That would be like an amazing goal to me to achieve. But there are probably people laughing right
My
now.
yellow
But
Neo that's blue with high white.
yeah.
I don't think that that's a crazy goal, man.
For it to be all blue with high white.
Yeah, like a true, like, you think like, Garrick's animals, or, other people producing that stuff too. But I mean, Garrick's the man to me. When it comes to his blue animals, they just blow my mind. And, so yeah, like a true, like a blue, I don't want to say true blue because that's a separate thing, but that too, either a true blue or one that turns blue over time, solid blue that's not hormonal. An animal like that also has high white would be absolutely insane to me.
You want to know something, man? I think you're about to start in the next few years. You're about to see some wild shit. There's so many people that are breeding that, like, the status quo of things that you've seen is gonna change because there's so many people that I've seen in 2024 pop clutches. So you're bound to see some changes. So you might be part of the change, man.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. That would be awesome because, it so happens that thing that I love like that isn't really something that's being produced. I mean, do you know anybody that's gotten a blue, an actual blue animal that's got high white out of a yellow Neo? I don't.
No.
If that exists, I'm not aware of it. So, I
I
was
haven't
like,
seen
that
it.
would be the ultimate thing for me to make happen if I have the time and the luck to do it,
I haven't seen it, but every year it seems like you see one or two animals that you've never seen before when it comes to chondros.
Oh yeah, when I first was getting into this and looking at all the pictures in the Facebook groups, I'll never forget the first time I saw a picture of the sickness, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
What is that?" And now, it seems like basically every day, people are posting animals that are insane like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, this is not even like back then seeing that, it was just like, oh my God. And now you see it all the time, and it's been 5 years. You know what I mean? It's crazy what people are producing now, like on a pretty consistent basis.
Yeah.
It is. Every year, like, 'cause people keep saying, you're not going to be able to do it. But, shout out to Marshall Mendez. He got the albino project to work. So, every year you're going to start seeing more and more. And I think that, it holds true. Like, the thing about, like, the red Neos versus yellow Neos is it's not that you're going to always necessarily get a better animal from a red Neo, because we see that all the time. But they also aren't being worked with as much, right? On the designer side of the game, there's only a few people working with them. So you might see it. You might be the guy that pops a yellow all blue animal, man.
We'll see. I got to pop out something first before that can happen. So
Pause first off.
I haven't gotten started yet. I mean, that's a long ways away, and who knows? Someone will probably beat me to it anyway.
Nah.
No, yeah, no. You can do it though.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm gonna try.
The
Like I
yellow
said,
for the win. Shout out Jamaica.
Yeah. Shout out to you too, Delic.
yeah.
Shout out to you, Salad.
I'm being very selective now with the animals that I'm willing to purchase.
Yeah.
That I think will help with achieve that goal. So, like getting that animal from Garrick recently. That was a dream come true. I've been waiting to get something from him for years, and I've been waiting for just the perfect clutch to come along that I was like, this is the one. I'm in, and that was it. So Fingers crossed that it's blue.
Which clutch was that?
Yeah, I knew you're gonna ask me that, and before you asked me that, I was going in my brain going, "What the heck's the name?" Oh, Kronos. Oh my God, who's the dam? Kronos and I hate myself right now. Hold on. Ridiculous. It's because it's late and my brain it should be in bed.
Hey, shout out Aiden, man. Shout out for showing up after you
Kronos
just did
and
your show,
Xenon.
man.
Thank you, Aiden.
Shout out to the
Aiden.
young
man.
prodigy known as a young legend. And shout out to the boys over at Trap Talk as well.
The young Bradley.
Young Bradley, not old Bradley, but young Bradley.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, Kronos and Xenon, awesome pairing. You know, both the parents and the grandparents are blue animals and all red dominant, which is neat.
Nice.
You know. So anyway,
I got a badass yellow baby. I ain't show none of you motherfuckers yet.
None of y'all is in who?
But yeah,
you
I want to
seen
work
it?
with,
Kino seen it.
I want to say.
Yeah, obviously I want to work with Red Neos too. You know what I mean? I just, I just want to do both heavily, you know?
Yeah, that's what I do. If I like it, I like it. I'm not gonna sit here and say one thing is better over the other one. I've seen some pretty badass rules over the years. So I don't think
Stuff that
anything's
Mark
off the
Hager's
table.
working with.
Man, you gotta see what John Lecky's working with too.
Oh yeah, John Lecky, yeah.
There's some guys working out, Mark's working with yellows, John's working with yellows. There's a few other people out there that are working with yellows. Shit, Bill was selling yellow babies too, man. I gotta see what those babies turn out to be. But yeah, there's people working with yellow babies out here, man. I think you'll see more people working with them, working with yellow babies.
Jason, what I would say is something that a lot of people, and this has been mentioned a few times, so I ain't uncovering or unearthing nothing new, but I would say when you see like blue pairings, try to get the animals that pop out yellow from those.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
The yellow neos from the just that eyeball. You might have like you'll catch somebody that have like 10 eggs, maybe, and like 2 of them yellow. Get a couple of those, a few different times, and then start mixing stuff. Some I don't think nobody has really dedicated no time to. Some I think that's kind of slept on. But I might do it in the future. I mean, I ain't even gonna do it no time soon. I ain't gonna lie to nobody, but just that's something I've been thinking about too.
Yeah, that's a great point. Something to think about for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, it doesn't hurt that they cost less too. So
not all the time.
Not all the time. Yeah, I suppose not all the time. But most of the time.
But I say if you get a good yellow, you still gonna pay some nice money for it, cause
yeah,
I paid some nice money for Jamaica.
Yeah.
Also, there's also this thing about people buying reds, and
I say some nice money. I paid some nice money for her.
I've heard this from a couple of breeders. Like, people will just ask them, just like, they don't really care a lot of times about what they think the animal will do, or necessarily what the parents are. They just see a red Neo, because they heard about red Neos, of what they heard, they go out and get them. But as I've seen red Neos over, the several years I've had chondros, they don't always turn out spectacular, man. I know a lot of people say, they're just green snakes at the end of the day. But I don't really think that's necessarily true. I think that if you don't get a plain green snake, you got a better chance of getting it from a red Neo. At least with a yellow Neo, you get some pattern or something, but you could get a plain ass green snake. And Some people are gonna say you should shut the fuck up, Travis, but I'm not gonna shut the fuck up and keep saying that shit.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Don't care. I
look at,
don't
I mean,
care.
I'm gonna
serendipity.
say
I
it
mean,
for him. You should shut the fuck up, Travis.
I'm not. I'm gonna keep saying that shit.
yeah, I mean, serendipity. That my Jaeger biscuit baby. I mean, he's basically a green snake. He's got some small, yellow patterning on him, but it's not thick or anything. It's just, I mean, they're real small, but aside from that, he's just solid green. But whatever, it's not, I mean, it's not like I was disappointed. I mean, he's got the great bloodline, so we'll see what he can do. You just never know until you pair animals up.
You never know, man.
You can get something crazy out of the most, normal looking animals that pop out,
Shit, man. I got some yellow babies that look real good. I got a few. But I think that, all in all, if we work more yellows, you'll see different. I'm not telling people what they should do, but I just think it's just untapped potential, man.
Yeah, I personally think the whole like red yellow thing really stemmed from like early on when people were producing chondros or bringing chondros in, importing them, that it just so happened that some of the really funky stuff came from red neos, like just based on what was collected, like again, just like random. And so then people just kind of like gravitated towards the red. And then that just kind of snowballed until, most of the cool stuff being produced was from red neos, but only really because that's what people were working with based off of those initial experiences. You know what I mean? Whereas it could have easily been some funky animals that were produced from yellow neos that people randomly got and just been the total opposite. That's how I feel. That's really the situation, and that you could get as crazy things from yellow as you can from red if the time was invested into it. But
we've had a couple of people on come and say it was all a bunch of marketing. Like we've had a few people come in and say that like it's just marketing. So you never really know.
I think that's part of it. Marketing is part of it. It was just
that wouldn't surprise me.
You was able to sell animals for what? Back in the day, man, you was selling. You had yellow animals from clutches selling at the same price as imports.
Yeah,
that was part of the issue. Like back in the day, $1,500 for a red neo was expensive. That was like $3,500 probably these days.
Yeah.
So if you saw animal posted for like $2,000, $3,000, you'd be like, "Whoa, what the fuck is this?" And that was your $8,000, $9,000 these days.
Yeah. Crazy.
All right, Jason, we only got so much time left, man. You got anything that you want to talk about before we get up out of here?
I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything that I would have thought to chat about. So I guess I'm good, unless you got anything.
Yeah, man. We talked about what your plans are, man. But with the chondros, but you got any other species that you plan on getting anytime soon?
No, I mean, I'm still going to continue to work with the hognose as far as breeding. They're in creation right now.
You a bastard. You a bald bastard.
Keep going. Ignore that, Jason.
Oh man, yeah. So
I wasn't talking about Jason. I was talking about
I'll be pairing them up this spring. Obviously, I'm hoping that something comes of this Wanda and the Decimus Wanda pairing. Time will tell there. But I'm not planning on picking up any new species. I'm gonna keep
Y'all
what I
got
got
Delic
right
about
now,
to throw the boxing gloves on.
and eventually down the road, you know, I will likely just have all chondros, you know, as other species end up passing on, you know, eventually. I probably won't get anything else except just chondros going forward.
Well, you know, I think you say that now, but Jason, you got a large collection, man. I feel like in
I don't
5 years from
have
now,
the space though. I don't have the space to like have. I don't have the luxury really of,
just
you
keep
know,
on
doing what I
avoiding not
want to
having
do and getting
children.
other and keeping other species. You know,
Just gotta
Yeah.
keep on avoiding having children.
I have room. Like if I didn't have the hognose, like eventually, like if I don't have the hognose someday and I don't have the rhino rat snake, I did the math. I have room for about 19 adult chondros, and that's it. That's not a lot compared to what a lot of these other folks are keeping. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like that's all I got room for adult chondros is like 19.
You gotta be like Pat and find a way to keep them in just
I mean,
various
I could
places.
convert. I could just dismantle my spare bedroom and not have a spot for guests and convert that to a snake room. That's my only other option.
You do got a spot for guests. It's called the Holiday Inn.
Oh man.
Oh man, but I think that you say that, man. But listen, I say the same thing, and I just wind up with more snakes, and then uh,
And I'm pretty disciplined.
He said no visitors.
yeah.
No
Listen,
visitors.
what did Derek say? She said, "I'm more impressed with the time managed." To be honest, yeah, we did a pretty good job today, Derek. We kept it. Jason kept it on board. Jason, we appreciate you, bro, for not letting us go off the rails.
I was hoping you were gonna go off the rails. I mean, no. This was great.
I think that you one of the most talkative, entertaining guests we had, Jason. So listen, you know this is your first time, but you're definitely coming back, Jason. So
I
whether we gotta get
appreciate
you
it.
a
I'd love to
panel
come
or
back.
something, bro, we gotta get you back, Jason, because this was good. This was fun.
Yeah,
And then
well,
you know maybe that episode we will go off the rails, and it'll be problematic. We'll all say things that we shouldn't say, and yeah.
Yeah, hopefully next time we'll be able to talk about you know, a clutch that I produced.
You're gonna get the clutch, man. And
you're gonna
here's
get
the
it.
worst part. Here's the worst part about you getting the clutch, man. You're gonna get the clutch, and then you're gonna get another clutch. Then you have two clutches at the same time, and then you're gonna be sad, and everybody's gonna be like, "This is what you want," and you gotta fake and be like, "Yo, I'm happy."
And I ain't gonna lie, Jason. What I'm hoping for is I'm hoping for your first two clutches to be like 30 eggs each.
That's what he's saying.
Can you
That's what he's
imagine?
saying. Yeah, I know, cause he keeps wishing that shit upon me. He's like,
I'm getting
man,
Hey,
you
closer
know,
look.
with him. It's been like 24, 23. It's been like high 20s. So I'm gonna
listen.
one day, right? I think within the next couple of years, I'm gonna predict he gonna have like a 28, 29 egg clutch. Watch, I'm getting closer.
Hey, you know what? When that happens, I'm gonna drive to Chicago. I'm going to adopt Cash and use him to help take care of these neos.
What? So
Yeah,
you already got one of them. You running around over there. You don't need
I
cash,
got
brother.
two. Yeah, I need two, bro. I need two little helpers, bro.
No,
I'm gonna put them on
brother.
little. I'm gonna put them on little elf hats.
Yeah, hey, look, he gonna have to pay. You know what I'm saying? That's free, brother.
I gotta pay. I gotta pay
Yeah,
like a way.
you gotta put it straight to his college fund. I don't need no cash. You just gotta put it straight in his account.
All right, man. I'll do that. Cash, I pay
I
for
don't
his
gotta see
college.
no money. I don't gotta see nothing from it. You just gotta put it straight to his account, brother. That's it.
I thought we was trying to get Cash a scholarship anyway.
He is
Um,
though.
Keno, you got
You know,
anything?
because he the rough son, so you know, just I got a plan. You know, I got.
That is a wild concept to think that your youngest son is the rough one. Uh, Jason, you got anything else before we get out of here, man?
No, man, I'm good. Yeah, I just wanted to say, obviously, Travis, Keno, awesome meeting you guys officially, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for giving
I've
us a couple
watched the
hours of
show
your
for a
time.
long time. I've watched, I think I've pretty much watched every single episode, and and I love it. Love you too.
And you seen the good and the bad.
Yeah, I've seen it all. And yeah, well, no, it's been cool, seeing you guys sort of like transform and morph as it went along, from your early days.
It's a more refined versions of clouds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I really do appreciate it. It was an honor to be asked to be on here.
Hey
Jason, that means a lot,
real.
man.
Hey, shit got real when we had to start keeping the episodes.
Jason, do you remember a time period where we didn't save the episodes and we used to stream off of Instagram?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
That was a wild time. That was.
I don't know.
So
we don't even want to talk.
You just streamed off.
You might not have been there when we were
vaguely...
shooting in the gym, Jason. I don't know, man. That was the rough days.
Jason, we used to have these episodes, and this is when the show was only supposed to be in like an hour, and it was me, Keno, and Chuck.
It was only supposed to be an hour.
We were virtually drunk. Like we were.
Not we. I never did stuff like that.
Listen, we were messed up.
Sober.
And Chuck would drink so much sometimes he would have to leave the show to go smoke a cigarette and come back.
Hey,
shout out to Chuck.
Chuck face get real red.
Yo, we used to get lit. We used to say some wild shit. But
they did.
Keno used to say the worst shit. That's really where the midget shit really came from. Listen, Jason, back when we were just doing it off of YouTube, we had a whole episode where like for 45 minutes we talked about midgets and eating ass. That literally happened, and Keno can act like that didn't happen.
And not it wasn't midgets doing that. No, it wasn't.
Listen, and who was there?
That was Randy.
It was Randy. Shout out to Randy P.
Randy got on here and he started talking about like stuff that he liked to do, and that was one of them.
Yeah,
he went off on a tangent about like
oh my God. Keno was definitely enthralled in that shit. Yeah.
Sounds like a trip.
I did what?
Keno was definitely into that shit. They was feeding off each other. Me and Chuck, we were just like, what the fuck you talking
about? Nah, bro. That was Randy. Randy was wilding on that.
Yeah, Randy was wilding, man. Listen, shout out to Randy P, man. I gotta hit Randy up this weekend. But shout out to Randy. That was a good time.
Randy, he been on twice. That was his first episode. He was wilding. He came out of left field with that one.
We had some other episodes where shit got bad.
He said as soon as he get off work.
Yeah, he did say that. But listen.
So how are you guys gonna label me now? You're not putting me in the serial killer category, are you?
No, I'm not putting you in the serial killer category.
No,
I'm not putting you in the serial killer category. That's an easy one.
You're not a serial killer, Jason. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jason,
hold on. You may be fooling me though, because why you asked that? Though? Right, hold on. I can't take you out of it. What made you ask that?
Jason, don't let this man trick you into thinking he's some type of FBI profiler.
No, I'm not.
He has this dossier full of like.
I'm just asking, like, what made you ask that? What made you, you like? I got to get that serial killer question in.
Yeah, no. it just stemmed from me asking how you were going to label me, because I feel like, you got some kind of, funny label for just about everybody that comes on the show. And so I was like, where am I going to fall? I expect it to happen at some point, like I'm going to be listening to another show. You're going to bring up my name and call me something.
I did not get the serial killer vibes from you, Jason. I did not get the serial killer vibes. Jason, you like, I'm gonna say you like Hawaii, Jason.
Hawaii?
Yeah.
Hawaii?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's like you kick with Jason, you can have a good time, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
You go to Hawaii to have a good time, bro.
I feel like Jason is like the type of person that, like, when he goes to like a wedding or anything, like his first thing is to like establish if the bar is open. If the bar is a free bar that's open.
That's what I mean. Yeah, Hawaii. That's what I mean. Hawaii, Jason, bro. He gonna let you know where the fun at.
I mean, I don't drink anymore though. That's the problem with that one. I used to like my beer. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not drinking anymore.
All right, so you hit the resort, right? So you take a trip. You hit the resort.
This is about to get bad for you, Jason.
It's an all-inclusive resort. You should have did this, Jason. What's the first thing you do? Like, what's the first thing you go out to see? Like, when you go out the country.
If I say that, okay, repeat the question.
All right, so you going out the country, you going to an all-inclusive resort or whatever, one of these things like that. And you going off to be a tourist. What's the first thing you going to see? What show you going to check out away from the resort? Show,
I mean,
food, whatever.
Yeah, well, definitely, the good food is at the top of my list. And then, if I'm vacationing somewhere like tropical, which is probably where I would be, it would be like, where's the best snorkeling spot?
Okay.
That's not what you wanted to hear. It's not very exciting, is it?
No, that's cool. Look, I'm just trying to get it so I can, because I don't prejudge people. You know what I'm saying? What I do is, I let them give me puzzles to the piece, and then I put the piece of the puzzle together. That's all.
Yeah.
That's not, you prejudge a lot of people, bro.
No, I don't, brother. Who?
It's like that meme. We listen and we don't judge. No, we listen and we be judging. And Keno be the number one judge, bro.
Who do I prejudge, bro? It's only one person I prejudge, bro. I was right about it. That's Tuck.
What do you mean?
Go ahead.
What did Doug say? It is Jason. Don't let tell him otherwise. Listen, Jason, we had a good time, man. Oh well, you not. You gotta come up with a cool Hawaii. We gotta come up with a cool Hawaii nickname for you. You wanna be Surf Jason? Or do you wanna be Hawaii 5-0 Jason?
Look, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. You guys can call me whatever you want.
I don't know anything else. Like I don't want to put pineapple in anything because people are gonna be like, "Yo, Jason's a swinger," so like that's not really gonna work. But we gotta come up with a cool Hawaii nickname.
That's true. You do got weird people though to make it something weird like that. So. that's what I was thinking too.
We can't use pineapple, so it's got to be something else.
Hawaii. Let's see, Hawaii Jason. I like
Surf's Up Jason.
I heard the Boston accent up there when you said something about Chaz. I heard that. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. That Boston accent does come out quite often.
I like Boston Borges. You know what I'm saying?
I like Patrice O'Neal. He's from Boston.
No, Boston Borges. What nickname? Boston Borges.
That's a good one.
I don't know what that is.
My last name is Borges. Boston Borges.
He's from Boston. So I like Boston Borges. I like that. You might do that, Boston Borges. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I don't know, because I was going to put you in the strong no serial killer category, but since you brought it up, it could kind of leave me, it's in the back of my head now. It's kind of,
Jason, don't.
Jason,
don't take this.
And I wasn't, look. First, it was a strong no. I'll be honest, it was a strong no. I hadn't even thought of it.
Listen to how this sounds, Jason.
Like you let this murderer to you?
No. Jason, you let this man come up and
that's
give
how
you
they get you.
nicknames, bro. You let this man come up with give you nicknames, and he tricked himself into believing that you are a potential serial killer. It's not y'all, bro. It's Keto.
I didn't even say nothing about him being a serial killer. I hadn't even thought that though.
You
But then he
tricked
kind
your
of mentioned it. It's kind of
you
like,
tricked your own self, Keno. This is you, bro.
who?
You is you.
Nah, brother, you can't blame me. You definitely can't blame me on this one because it was a strong no. He asked
It's a
me, I
struggle.
said no.
Is a struggle, no, Jason. We don't think. Yeah, that's what Keto is the real serial killer. That's the truth. It's all
The
deflection.
Boston Strangler. The
It's
Boston. Oh, I like. Oh, you know what? The
don't
Boston
do this.
Strangler.
Don't do this. We're not
That's
doing
why
this.
he's always
Jason.
wearing the shades. He doesn't want us to look into his eyes.
Yeah,
I
he
can
doesn't.
see
It's really Keno. It's really
Boston. I ain't
Keno.
gonna. Hey,
Because
Jason,
the
I ain't
eyes
gonna lie.
tell
I
all.
can see you. I can
Yeah,
see you being. I can see you strangling somebody.
I can't see that. I can't see that at all. Jason, don't take this shit from Keno.
Yeah.
Don't take Keno's
I can
bullshit.
see you. I can see you probably because you like. I don't know, bro. I can see you strangling somebody and taking them on a long flight and then dropping the luggage off the flight in the middle of that. I can see you.
Oh
I
god.
can see you doing that.
Oh my God.
The Boston Strangler.
This is fucking dumb,
Keno is
Jason.
the real
That's
serial
what I
killer.
get
See,
for bringing it up, right?
I think
I'm not a
Keno.
serial killer.
I think Keno is the real serial killer.
It
Hey,
takes one to know one, right?
Yeah, man. He's like Dexter.
the only thing I've been killing these last couple months is all these 11 youth football teams, except one. So it's up to.
Anyway, y'all, that's been
That's it.
us tonight. Man, shout out to Jason. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Chris from In the Box and shout out to Cold Blooded Cafe.
Yeah.
And we love y'all, man. Shout out to the
Shout out
chat,
to the
man.
sponsors. Hey,
Chat, y'all
shout
had
out
it
to Jason
jumping
for
tonight.
coming through.
Yeah,
Jason, go follow him on Instagram at Legless Luxuries.
yeah. Every
Yeah,
time I
with
think
him.
of your Instagram name, I always think about that leg lamp from the Christmas story.
Yeah.
Mm.
My favorite
AKA
Christmas
Boston
movie.
Borges, AKA the Boston Strangler. Get
We're
up with
not
him.
calling him the
Oh,
Boston Strangler. We're not
Get up
doing
with him.
it.
Get up with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We're not
uh,
calling him that.
Go follow
I
him. I always love his Monday Munchies. He get a warning sign. Hey, warning! I'm about to feed my snakes. If you sensitive, get your ass on.
that's right.
Yeah. Every time I scroll, hey, one of your snakes is mean as hell. Is it one of the hog noses?
Oh,
Well,
I
I'm
don't.
not gonna say he's mean. He's just he turned up during feeding time.
Oh gosh, it probably is one of the hog noses. Is it the white one?
I think so. He lies in wait and he hisses.
That the hissing one. That's Dolian. That's my male, my breeder male, and he hates people. And he
Yeah.
just does it all. I'll just be walking around the room, and I'll hear a thunk and a hiss, and he'll just be at the glass, looking at me, walking through the room, hissing and like mock striking against the glass for no reason at all.
I love
That's
how
Keno.
he.
Whenever you see a midget couple in love,
He hisses.
Wow.
He hisses
Wow.
at them.
he's just like, it should be me.
I don't
It
hiss
should
at
be
them.
me.
I don't hiss at them, and I don't thump the glass.
It should be me.
Wow. That's crazy.
All right, y'all, man. That's been us for this
You know, you
episode of the
still diamonds.
CBR.
I can see. Look, I can see Jason. I can see Jason like and being involved in a diamond heist.
All right. That's been us for the Chondro Bar Room. We're not gonna continue on with this shit. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Keno and his fucking FBI serial killer profile case. You should,
Hey,
Kino,
I
you
don't
should
need
go
to be
watch
the.
Long Legs, bro. That's a movie you need
Hey, I
to
don't need to be
watch.
the
Long
FBI
Legs.
agent to know what you do. We already know what your backhand do. You see how he just pointed that hand? He was like, it's naturally strong. His son
Listen,
gonna have it too. Watch. Watch out for his son. He got me coming.
why do you think that my son's gonna be slapping people? All right, man. Y'all
That's
have
what
a
people
good
from
night.
Memphis do.
Shut the fuck up. Y'all have a good night. This has been us for the
And they have a
CBR.
lot of cousins.
Shut up.